The Bitcoin price reclaims $80,000 for the first time since January in a move that completely shocked the bears. Is it possible that $90,000 is next? Well, historical patterns across multiple key charts are suggesting that the bottom was likely in for Bitcoin and the altcoins nearly 3 months ago, and that we're likely to see higher prices for crypto over the next few months. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the craziest confirmations so that you know exactly what to expect next for the crypto market. Do me a favor, hit the like button and let's get on with it. Now guys, jumping across to the Bitcoin chart on the weekly, you can see that earlier on today, the Bitcoin price hit $80,500, marking a move up from the February low of 33%. Leaving the bulls feeling only slightly more comfortable than they have been over the last few months, but leaving the bears feeling a lot of confusion. But it makes sense as to why they're confused. You see, many bears were anticipating that the crypto markets would sell off heavily during April, not just because of the bad news you were seeing in the Middle East or the surging oil prices, but predominantly because of how long typically Bitcoin bounces have lasted during sustained downtrends. You see, since that Bitcoin low on February the 6th, we're now 87 days into this recovery. And if you look at this, it shows you that in every single period of time over Bitcoin's life cycle, that Bitcoin's been in a sustained downtrend, no recovery has ever lasted for longer than 66 days, typically only lasting 54 to 55 days. And if any bounce lasted for longer than this, it marked the end of a downtrend and brought about the beginning of a new bull market. And something else that's caught my eye that is worth paying attention to is this. You see, the purple line here is the Bitcoin production cost. And obviously in the background, we have the Bitcoin price, spanning all the way back to 2014. Now what you can see is every single time the Bitcoin price hits an all-time high and then pulls back, it will eventually re-break that previous all-time high and start a countdown timer of 23 months. Now that 23 months is how long it takes for the following bull market down to the next bearish bottom to be established. And this is always in line with the Bitcoin production cost, which is this purple line here. Now you can see this here is 2018, and then we have the 2019 push. Eventually in 2020, you can see the Bitcoin price breaks beyond the previous 2017 all-time high, starting that countdown timer once more. Eventually 23 months is up when the FTX crash happens. Price then hits again into production cost, bounces off of there, and begins a rally, breaking previous all-time highs in early 2024, 23 months from then on out is, guess when? The start of February 2026. At production cost, we have now seen the Bitcoin price recovering. Now, if you're subscribed to the House of Crypto, firstly, hit the like button. Glad you're finding the content useful. But you'll realize that we don't just talk about fractals and historical patterns that have happened this time before, so it must happen again, because effectively, we know that these don't necessarily align. Ultimately, you've got this pattern here. And effectively, if this pattern is right, then there's another major pattern out there, which everyone's been talking about, the 4-year cycle, which has to be wrong. So which of these patterns is going to be wrong? Well, one of them is clearly going to be wrong. And there's another pattern out there, which is how long Bitcoin takes in a bear market versus gold, which has typically only ever taken 52 weeks. So for that to be right, effectively the 4-year cycle has to be wrong. One of these cycles is going to be wrong. Which one will it be? Well, there's so many other things to pay attention to out there that we shouldn't just be relying on historical patterns and calendars and all of that. So we need to think about the bigger picture here. What's going on behind the scenes? Because there's so much information that we can use to help us. But that may be so. But what about the bear flag? Well, looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, you are right. There is some form of a bear flag forming. But you've simply got to read the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns, which is pretty much the OG book on any chart pattern, to realize that this pattern has around a 55% chance of success of playing out towards the downside, and therefore a 45% chance of breaking towards the upside. And if you just go back in time and mark up every single bear flag that Bitcoin has seen, then you'll see that a great deal of them actually break towards the upside. This one was here after the FTX crash, and there's many others if you go back quite a long way. In fact, this bottom here back in 2019 also finished with a bear flag that went towards the upside. Now, I'm not saying it can't break down. I'm just saying don't rely on one thing and one thing alone, because it will get you in trouble, and it gets people in trouble every single time. Everybody right now in the market, pretty much 95% of people that I'm looking at, are relying on one thing, one piece of data, one piece of information, showing them which way they should be looking. And I think it's going to get everyone on the wrong side of this. What I think we should be looking at is what has historically caused bear markets and bull markets beyond just the calendar, because it isn't the calendar at all. There's something underneath all of this that is causing the markets to move around. And it's this. You see, the Federal Reserve net liquidity is the key controller here. Whenever we've seen this going down, we've seen stock markets bleeding. We've seen crypto suffer. You see risk off conditions, you see the markets really struggling. Right now, the Federal Reserve net liquidity is booming, and this is causing a positive reaction from markets. I mean, Bitcoin right now is up $20,000 from where it was. Many altcoins were up significantly from where they were in February. The US S&P 500 has been absolutely booming towards the upside. The Russell 2000 or small cap shares has also been booming towards the upside. And this is not only providing the liquidity, but it's also showing us that there's better risk conditions in the market, i.e. risk on, where people want to go after riskier and riskier things. And this is why the gold price pretty much topped earlier on this year and is now starting to bring about this bigger downtrend. Silver also doing something very similar. And it's why the copper versus gold price has bounced incredibly strongly on this line. Now, every single time historically that copper has bounced here, this has marked a major bull market for assets, including crypto. Notice how each and every one of these uptrends is met by a downtrend of a similar length. Now, these downtrends of similar length were effectively what caused the 4-year cycle, because the 4-year cycle was simply linked to liquidity. Notice how this one spanned much longer, and is therefore why we've had to wait longer for a full-blown crypto bull market that spans beyond just Bitcoin. Effectively, crypto has been in a major kind of bear market, with the exception of the Bitcoin price, and a couple of periods of time where we saw a little bit of expansion, like early 2024 and late 2024, where we saw those kind of mini altcoin seasons. Now what you're seeing is a rally off of here. This is very key. Think about it. Copper is used in manufacturing. Big businesses out there would not be doubling down on manufacturing if they thought that there was going to be a recession coming about. They know that the US Federal Reserve has to continue to print money at a crazy pace. They're right now expanding their balance sheet by around $20 to $25 billion per month. They need to roll over trillions of dollars of debt this year. That debt is going to get rolled over, and that is effectively what is going to drive the crypto bull market. That expansion is what caused the bull market back in 2020. And this isn't just being seen by the stock market in the Russell 2000. This is being seen in what smart money are doing right now. And it's all to do with the ETFs. You probably realize that over the past 3 months, right, that crypto's been sideways and bounding around. Everybody's been pretty much bearish, okay? Everyone's been calling for new lows, okay? Every bearish YouTube channel out there has been getting tons and tons of views. Even though Bitcoin is up nearly $20,000, people are like, oh, well, crypto hasn't gone anywhere. It has. It's actually been moving. So if everybody out there in retail is bearish, who's been buying it? Well, you've only got to look at the ETFs and start to realize what the ETFs have been doing in the background. You see, ETFs have been hoovering up a lot of the Bitcoin supply. In fact, right now, there's only 2.6 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. Now, that is a lot of money. That still equates to around $200 billion in Bitcoin left on those exchanges. But look at this purple line. Over the last few years, the exchange reserves have been shrinking down almost daily. Despite the fact that the Bitcoin price has been chopping around, the amount of Bitcoin left is shrinking down rapidly. And that's because right now, because of all the halvings and stuff, there's only 462 new Bitcoin every single day being produced, which means that the ETFs alone are buying up more of that Bitcoin supply by around 13x every single day than is being put onto those exchanges. What do you think happens when the amount of Bitcoin available on exchanges completely drops to zero? What do you think happens when the sentiment in the market begins to warm up and retail comes back in and starts to buy Bitcoin as well? Effectively, there's not going to be any Bitcoin left. When you get no supply, what happens to the price? Let me give you a clue. Right now, you've probably been watching the news. You know that Iran decided to close the Straits of Hormuz, and then Donald Trump threatened them with nuclear war to open the Straits of Hormuz, and then they did, and now Donald Trump has closed the Straits of Hormuz and is now threatening Iran for something else. All very confusing, I get it, but right now you know that the oil supply isn't really being let out. So what's the oil price look like? It's going up, correct. So oil price goes up because the supply is limited. What do you think is going to happen to the Bitcoin price? Because supply is being so limited. BlackRock now holds $61 billion and continues to buy. In addition to that, you've got Michael Saylor coming in and buying. Everybody is coming in and pulling pieces of this pie apart. And it's only really retail who are kind of coming in and out of the market all the time. In the short term, nothing's really changing. We're still seeing a lot of the supply getting taken off. And this is why, in the short term, I'm still very confident that we're likely to see some very aggressive price moves over the next couple of months for Bitcoin and the altcoins. You see, this is the Bitcoin long liquidation dominance. Bit of a mouthful from Check on Chain, but effectively it's showing you where the leverage sits. Right now, you can see that the leverage, even though there was a little spike into the green at the end of April, is now back in the red again. We're now back in the red, showing you that the majority of people are bearish, still stacked against price. Bitcoin's just hit 80K, it's up $20,000. At some point, if the Bitcoin price continues to rise, which it can, because there's nothing right now that's going to be able to stop it, apart from people selling it off in massive quantities, or suddenly if everyone flips into longs and those get liquidated, if everyone still stays bearish, those shorts will eventually get liquidated. That will stack into more buying pressure. If you've got the ETFs and everything stacking in to buy Bitcoin, and you then suddenly have this happen in the background, you will suddenly see a lot more buying happen. At that point, you will suddenly start to see sentiment switch. I've already seen a lot of the bearish channels out there saying that Bitcoin can reach $85,000 to $90,000 and still be bearish. But what happens if it hits $90,000, $95,000? At some point, all of those people who are completely sidelined and are waiting for new lows to come in later on the year have to be forced back in to buy the market. And if that happens, all of these things together can rapidly accelerate price back against it. And I believe that until we see big green spikes up here, we don't have to see any significant major pullbacks in the short term. It can be possible, perhaps, yeah, we can have some negative news or whatever, but think about it. We've just been through one of the most tumultuous times on the global stage over the last few years, where we've seen the Iran war, we've seen surging oil prices, we have seen the Federal Reserve getting a new chair in, we've seen lots of crazy things that have caused a lot of fear and worry, and yet the Bitcoin price went up 20K. This to me tells me that the bottom was likely in February and that we are going to see better times from here. And if I'm wrong, so be it. What's the worst case that I get from here? The Bitcoin goes back down to 60K where I was buying a lot of supply at, or maybe it goes down to 55K, just 5K below where I wanted to get in at, and then eventually goes all the way back up to all-time high and beyond. What's the danger here? For me, the biggest danger is to be on the sideline. Yeah, remember, none of us know exactly tomorrow or the next day exactly where price is going to go. That's not our game here. We want to buy low, sell high, avoid buying high and selling low, because that's ultimately what gets most of the people across crypto in trouble. And if you're looking to go and buy into the crypto markets, you want to trade, long, short, whatever, then make sure you go and check out Bitunix, link down below in the description. This exchange, above all others that I work with, has the most altcoins available. If you want to go and buy different altcoins and buy whatever coin that anyone's talking about at any given time and do it without a KYC, no matter where you are in the world, then Bitunix is probably the best way to do it. It has some of the lowest fees out there in the markets. And if you sign up through my link below, you'll get a specific bonus that isn't available through any other content creator or anywhere across the markets. Guys, if you made it this far through, do me a favor, smash up that like button, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Oh, and subscribe. Bye-bye.